This is Sarah and Olivia. Both of them are responsible drivers who are going to be planning a very successful road trip. Now this is Devon. She doesn't know exactly what she's doing, so she'll be demonstrating what happens when you don't plan so well. Planning a trip, how to ensure that you have an successful and enjoyable experience. The first part is planning your trip. The first step is deciding where and when you want to go. Decide how long you'll be gone for and plan your route accordingly. Make sure you give yourself enough time and plan for unexpected stops, route changes, traffic, or other circumstances that can ruin your trip. If you decide to go for more than one day, make reservations for motels and campgrounds before you leave. While there are hotels in almost every town in America, there is no guarantee you'll be able to get a room, and spending the night in your car is uncomfortable and dangerous.
What the damn heck is this? The heck? Window.
Before you leave, call or make an appointment with your insurance agent and make sure you have roadside assistance covered. If not, see to upgrading about changing your policy to avoid relying on strangers if you break down. And we were wondering if we could just ask a couple of questions and you pretend like you're giving us advice about giving us insurance.
I can actually really give you advice. But people who take driver's education are historically safer drivers.
So our topic was planning a trip. So one of the important steps was finding out about your roadside coverage to make sure that you're completely covered.
And there are a lot of differences with what's available roadside. Some people have a AAA program. That is excellent. The AAA program nationwide has their own roadside assistance program. The thing that I think is unique about our program is that if you have a little card in your wallet, looks like a little business card, that says that you are covered under our roadside assistance program, you or your parents or whatever, it doesn't matter who you are with, what car you are in, where you are. If that car is disabled for any way, shape, or form, your roadside assistance card will help you and the owner of that vehicle, whether it's nationwide insured, whether it isn't, whether it's anything to do with nationwide or what, will help the owner of that vehicle get that car repaired and get you guys back on the road again. So that's the rule. But the other thing you need to understand when you're planning on a trip, if you're leaving the state of New York, some of the coverages on your basic automobile insurance policy stop when you get to the New York state border. And what I'm talking about is a thing called personal injury protection. It's mandatory on every automobile insurance policy in the state of New York. But when you get to the state border, that mandatory coverage stops. This is the coverage that pays for your medical bills immediately if you're involved in an accident. It is what pays any additional expenses that may come up, if there are additional expenses because of being involved in an accident. And if you happen to be working and you lose wages because of the accident, it helps replace the wages. That stops at the state border. And it's a good idea to be sure that your policy has an endorsement on it that changes that, so once you leave the state of New York, you still have that coverage. If you go into Canada, when you go to Canada, you have to have a special insurance card that you're carrying with you saying that your insurance is valid in Canada. And lo and behold, if you decide to go to Mexico, when you get to the Mexican border, you buy Mexican car insurance. Yours is no good anymore once you cross into Mexico. 25 or 50 miles inside, but don't count on it. Get Mexican insurance if you go to Mexico. So if you're planning a trip, you got to think about more than just, well, okay, throw the suitcase in front, jump in the car, and go. What are the phone numbers that I should have with me in case of emergency? Do you have emergency contact numbers for everybody that you might want to know where you are that you carry with you? Your cell phone, office phone, business, whatever. Do you have information that you might carry with you that would talk about your medical records, for example?
What kind of information can you give to people like Sarah and I going on a vacation, like insurance-wise? Like, what would be the best kind for us?
You and Sarah going on a vacation what?
Going on a vacation, what would be the best kind of insurance for us to get?
as far as your car insurance is concerned, and you're going to be going on a vacation where you're going to be driving your own vehicle, there's really no best or worst kind of insurance for that. The things that you should be sure of, like I said, is that you've got a good policy, a good high limit policy for your liability coverages, and that you have made sure that your personal injury protection coverage extends beyond the state border.
Have a mechanic check your car to make sure everything's in good shape, especially the spare tire. Tell your mechanic that you're going on a trip and how many miles you're putting on your car so they know the areas that need to be looked at the most. Pack lightly. Keep the front clear and make sure that you can see through the back windshield. During the course of your trip, you'll probably end up buying things, so allow extra room for items. Remember to pack the essentials such as first aid kit, flashlight, emergency flares, jumper cables, GPS, paper map, cell phone, extra batteries, chargers, and plenty of music and snacks. Pack these in the second seat to avoid clutter in the front and keep them in a small area as possible. Emergency supplies can be stored under the seats.
Don't pack like this, because packing like this can be dangerous, and it's just stupid. You can also wait to put that makeup on. And also, don't pack your car like this. That's also stupid. Obviously, you can't see out the back window, and you can barely see out the front, so just don't pack like this.
Well, on the trip, be observant. When traveling through unfamiliar areas, it's important to always be on the lookout for signs and traffic lights. Your passenger should look for these and always tell the driver if they miss something, such as an exit ramp or speed limit sign. Don't be afraid to switch drivers or pull over if you feel uncomfortable driving. If you're feeling fatigued, don't stay on the road. You'll only endanger yourself and other drivers. Instead, pull to the side or into a rest area and relax for a while, or ask your passenger to take the wheel so you can take a break. If you feel conditions are too dangerous, again, pull over or find a rest area and wait for conditions to improve before resuming your trip. Try to keep the peace. Most likely there will be arguments during the course of the trip, but try to stay calm. You're going to be spending a lot of time with each other, and tension can easily ruin an entire trip. Talk it out or save it for later. Arguments can be distracting to the driver, and it's dangerous for emotions to run high on the open road. Most importantly, use common sense. Stay smart and you'll have a wonderful trip. Olivia, can we please change the radio station?
No.
Olivia, we have been listening to this stupid country music for the past 2.5 hours.
Well, I'm the driver, I pick.
Olivia, I am feeling very upset with you right now.
I'm upset with you too.
I don't like this, Olivia.
Okay, we can change it.
Okay, can we just be friends for the rest of the trip?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm so glad we did this. Me too. These are 7 tips of how to handle difficult situations that may arise when you're on your trip. You're lost. Pull over to a safe spot, then pull out your map. Look for a main road and drive toward it. Once you reach a marked street or intersection, pull over again and use your cell phone to call someone at your destination. Tell them where you are and ask them to help you get back on track. You're out of gas. If you think you're running out of gas, turn on your hazard lights and pull over. This will keep you from having to push. If you don't have roadside assistance, call a friend. Ask them to buy a gas can, fill it up, and bring it to you. As a general rule, always keep a quarter tank of gas in your car. Then you'll prevent this situation altogether. You're locked out. Double check that everything's really locked. Call roadside assistance if you have it. If you don't, call a locksmith. No matter what you do, don't break a window. Believe it or not, a window repair costs twice as much as an unlock service. You're driving in slippery conditions. Slow down, keep a safe distance between you and the car in front of you. And if you find yourself starting to skid, turn the wheel in the direction you're skidding. Sounds weird, but it works. You've got a flat tire. At the first sign of tire trouble, grip the wheel tightly. Turn on your hazard lights and slow the car down gradually as you move into the breakdown lane. Attempt to change the tire only if you can do it without putting yourself in danger. Otherwise, just call for help. You've had an accident. First things first, get to a safe place, then call the police no matter what. Don't consider simply exchanging information with the other person involved. Take a photo of the accident with your cell phone or a disposable camera. Then let the police take it from there. You've been pulled over. Stay in your car and wait for the officer to approach you. Take out your insurance card, driver's license, and registration when the officer asks for them. And prepare to swallow your pride. After all, it always pays to be polite.